this video, I want to demonstrate RDFS reasoning is kind of limited. We're going to use domain and range as one example. So first of all, I'm at the 8001 port, which allows me to configure the default rule sets that we're going to use for inference. Because we're demonstrating RDF reasoning, so we're using RDFS rules. Okay, and now we can go back to our query console, which is at port of 8000. I wanted to, earlier we have created inference examples, a graph, and I want to clean up that first. So I'll drop graph, and then create a new graph. So on this Sparkle update query, I'm creating a small graph using the example that's shown in the lecture note. We have a property called gave birth, and we define its range to be animal. This means that anything actually can be born. That thing going to be an animal. My instance that I have, someone gave birth to Katie. Okay, so based on this assertion, Katie has to be an animal. But at the same time, I asserted that Katie is a plant. So intuitively, you will see this is a conflict. Katie should probably not be animal and plants at the same time, if we know that plants and animals are distinct. I mean, they're disjoint sets of things. However, RDFS doesn't know that. So it will be happy to infer that Katie is a plant and Katie is also an animal. So we can run this. Let's first run this to create the new data set, inference examples. And then we can run this query, ask for the system using the rule set RDFS to reason over this graph, inference examples. And we want the system to tell us any resources that has a type. That the system can figure out. So we want to have the resources and its type to be output. So we can run this, and it gave us some result. So animal is a class. That's correct inference. Give birth is a property because it has range. Katie is an animal. That was based on the range inference. And it will also say Katie is a plant. This was based on the assertion that we told it. Then plant is a class, and the rest of it are the default RDF namespace terms. Their classes and data types. Those are going to be consistent throughout because that was given in RDFS. So look at this result. We can see that RDF doesn't care that they have inference two different types. Because those two different types, how does RDF know it's disjoint or the same or anything else? RDF does not support us to see animal and plant are disjoint. Therefore, it cannot detect any inconsistency here. It will just happily infer whatever classes that's necessary to make that property consistent with domain and range definition. Okay, this concludes this little demonstration.